LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.
This is it. This is for all the chips. Work for championships. No, it gets no better than this. Just sit and relax a bit. We're talking to pass and blitz. We're talking to jump and switch. We're talking to pitch and miss. Clean space, kick space. You come to the right place. Deep bait. I don't need to see other shows. I'm straight. Cause they're not impressing me. I tune into Legacy. Legacy. Fourth and goal and on the road. Legacy. Down 3 seconds to go. Legacy. 2 out, bases loaded. Legacy. It's not a mystery, you're tuning to Legacy. Checkered flag on the final lap. Legacy. 12th round, who gets in the mat? Legacy. You want a legacy? You build a legacy. Broadcasting live right now so the whole world can see.
Now, the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. We about to get this bad boy started.
Here are your hosts, Darrell, Owens, and Jay Quimby.
What it do, everyone. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast, episode 284. We had a little bit of a break. Me and Jay both had to take a little bit of a mental break. Jay's taking care of some business with the fam. I had to just, as we're getting ready for basketball season, but we couldn't go away too long. We gotta get back in our groove. We're ready to bring you some stuff in the sports world today. And Jay, how you been, brother? Right. I know you've been having fun the last 2 weeks. No, not at all.
No, I can say, so far everything's going well with mom. So just appreciate y'all keep her in your prayers and, trying to maintain dad's like a big ass toddler, but do what you can.
Yeah, gotta love pops. Yeah, so we're getting definitely glad to be back in the mix and to bring you another episode of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. Now, today we got a couple of top stories we're going to get into. We got Cash or Trash, of course, coming, and then we're going to give you our predictions for the week and give you a recap of Thursday night's game, so you can thoughts on that bad boy. Thursday night was a crazy one. So so we want to make sure we got some more great shows. We had Monster Minutes earlier today before this episode, so if you need to go back, take a look. This is the next to last Monster Minutes, y'all, for the season. Did
you watch it?
Did I watch it? Not yet. I haven't had a chance to watch it myself yet.
That was the last Monster.
So is it gonna be the last one? She's not doing a recap show? Oh man, I thought she was gonna do a recap show.
No, you talk to her. She's your employee.
You wear the pants. He said, "No, sir." He said, "Don't put me in that situation."
You're trying to get me, but remember, I'm still in Michigan.
Yes, so you're safe for now.
You're not.
I'm way too close. But yeah, so make sure y'all go check out Monster Minutes, the last one of the season. And then, of course, we got Rob coming on after us to bring you the RJ Sports Lounge. So be ready for that. All right, y'all, let's get this party started. Oh, real quick, I know it's a little bit late, but happy birthday to my older brother, Pernell, who turned 47 on November the 2nd. And God rest. My grandma's been 1 year. Love you, baby. Just trying to make you proud.
I mean, I got nothing because
I got nothing. All right, so let's get into this. We got to go over our top stories first. We're gonna do a real quick one before we get into the heavy ones. The Atlanta Braves are the World Series champions. For the first time in 25 years, the Atlanta Braves can call themselves world champions. Before we get rolling into our NFL, we wanted to give the Braves some love. Jay, give me your quick thoughts on the Atlanta Braves and their World Series championship.
Absolutely love, one of the best outfielders in the business. They lose him before, June or right at the beginning of June. And at the trade deadline, this entire thing goes to their GM, Alex. He, brought in people that were good clubhouse people. And if you look at who the MVPs were through the playoffs, Rosario, Soler, both trade deadline guys. And when they brought in Rosario, he was hurt.
Right. And, I'll tell you what's crazy. I remember the one home run in game 6 It was one of the that Jake was sexy. He turned on that pitch and he hit it over the train tracks, Solario, and I was like, he end up winning the MVP.
Yeah,
He was a tremendous for the Braves during this. And I know we have in our area in Richmond, there are a ton of Atlanta Braves fans because we used to have the Richmond Braves here. So a lot of fans are in celebration. And you know, it was a really good deal to see the Braves get the W. I hate it for Dusty Baker. My man can't catch a break. But they look like they're going to sign an extension, and I'm pretty sure the Astros can sneak one more out before Dusty gets out of there.
They've got quite a few free agents that they're going to try to retain, and their Carrera has been their guy, and they offered him something, but I don't think he's going to take it because
I heard the Yankees are looking at him. It's going to be crazy money. So we're going to see some big things there, but we want to give one more shout out to the Atlanta Braves. Congratulations on winning the World Championship. Now to get into the meat of things, we got a couple of things to talk about. And the first thing we're going to talk about here is the Henry Ruggs tragic situation coming out of Vegas. Jay, this is one of the craziest things that we've had to see in the last couple of years. The fact that TMZ, shame on them, actually had video of this, blew my mind. And you got to feel bad for him because everybody all around is just like, you don't know how to feel because Henry Ruggs, a young guy who probably has ruined his life, because of this, and being negligent, 156 miles an hour, kills a young woman and her dog, and animal lovers not gonna like that too hot. So,
but the loss of life is the
right.
But the thing is, this is something that a couple years ago when Eli Apple got drafted,
right.
There was a lot of BS about his mom was the person, like she took control of his money, made sure that he was doing this, this, and this. I think that's what more of these young athletes need, because all of us were at that age one time. We were invincible. We could do anything.
Right.
Well, you're not. And you're, like you said, he ruined his life. He took another life. I mean, young man needs support more than he needs beat down right now because he knows he messed up.
Right. And so, I mean, and he's going to have the fact that unfortunately he killed somebody in this for the rest of his life. That's a punishment that is something that you can never take away, knowing that you took someone else's life, that you took someone away from their family. And that alone is not, is going to be punishment enough. He's going to have to find a way, depending on how many years he gets in jail, if he gets it, because they say it's anywhere from 2 years to 20. So it could
that's per felony, and I think he's up to like 5 felonies now.
We're talking about this could be forever. You know what I'm saying? Like we may never this will be a trivia question 20 years from now. Do you guys remember we talked about was it Leonard Little? Little. Oh yeah. Remember Leonard Little and what happened when we were younger. And that whole situation. And now we get another situation with Ruggs. And it's sad because Ruggs was really starting to come along as a player. Like this was his second year in the league. He was starting to show a little promise. And the Raiders right now are 5-2. And we're looking pretty good. And he was starting to grow with this team.
Well, yeah, but see, then it makes you wonder about the red flags, because there was a lot of talk when the year he was eligible, he fell to them. They expected Ruggs to be the first wide receiver taken off the board, and he didn't go till 16.
Right.
So was there a personality thing that other teams saw there?
And that's why they held off. Yeah.
We'll never know. And then we got this other stuff coming about Arnett.
Yeah, I saw that. It's crazy. Vegas, man.
Talking about killing people. I mean, we worried about this when we said that they were going to put a sports team in Vegas. Did we not talk? This was
we did talk about this. This was going to be the one trouble spot, because Vegas is Vegas is Vegas. They don't say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas for no reason. Well, and so it's crazy, man. Like
what Becca just said, Derek Carr. Let's talk about him. If there's ever been a question about who's the leader of this team, Derek Carr needs to be their quarterback forever. I don't care if he sucks.
I will tell you, he has shown some amazing things in the last couple of weeks, Jay. And this is the second time that he's had to come to the forefront as a leader of this organization and show that, one, he may deserve the money regardless of what, them. I know we've heard the talk of the contract extensions and they held off on it for now. And, he had to deal with the John Gruden situation a couple of weeks ago. He said, hey, he handled it like any true person, in my opinion, should handle it. He has an affection for John Gruden. He doesn't approve of what John Gruden did, but he said he still loves the guy and hopes that things get better for him.
Absolutely.
Same situation this week with Ruggs. He said, we don't need to beat up on him, man. We got to find a way to love this guy and get him the help that he needs. And showing true leadership. I mean, how could you not like Derek Carr after this? I mean, if he's really shown it to another level.
Oh, 100%. Yes. I mean, and it gives you hope at the same time as, you wonder what's really going on behind the scenes. But then, now there's whispers too, Jackson's going to go out there, talk to them. They're also looking at Odell, which we'll have to have another 2-minute show once he clears waivers. If he doesn't, Yeah,
we'll just be ready tomorrow or Tuesday, because I'm pretty sure me and Jay are going to pop on here for it may not be podcast, but we'll come with a Legacy Maker Sports News update once we figure out where Odell is going. So that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, I mean, with those two names out there, it's going to be interesting. But they are in need technically of a receiver. But if they don't go get receiver, I think they're going to be all right, because they got a young man and Brian Edwards who's having a pretty solid year. So I think this will be his chance to grow into that number 2 slot and maybe be that that guy. And plus Waller's coming back, so they got a game against the Giants today, and it should be all right.
Oh, you say that, but we got LegacyMaker in the wings with Eli going to his first game.
Yeah, we got Eli and Cody up there today. So
it'll be my one time that I might want the Giants to win.
Just for them.
Just for Eli. I mean, did you see that picture of him being up at 4:30, looking at his dad like, I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
Hey, look, Pops, I don't know what you're thinking, but let me tell you what I'm thinking. Like, what?
He just you need to get your ass up out the bed and let's do it.
Exactly. Go right now. So the Rugg situation is crazy. And we just pray for everybody involved, man, because this thing is wild, man. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it, how wild the situation is.
I like what G had to say. Carr definitely needs the Eli treatment. Manning, be a Raider for life.
Yeah, and you hope that does happen. I mean, but if he does end up going elsewhere because of whatever situation, wherever he ends up going, they're getting themselves a gem at QB, a great leader and a guy who, this year has shown that he's really starting to grow as an individual.
Oh, yeah. It'd be funny if he ended up in green and gold next year.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be super, attest to that or, against that. Depending on what happens with our next topic. Next thing we're talking about here, the Aaron Rodgers COVID vaccine situation. Jay, this thing is taking so many turns.
Wait, you didn't read the last word in our thing here. What is that? Scandal?
Yeah, scandal. Yeah.
But he's immunized.
I mean, whatever that's supposed to mean, I'm still trying to figure out. But I'll say this is not me trying to defend him. I got to defend him a little bit because he is my quarterback. Because I've been getting I've been getting a little bit of heat from 4 different ways here. How can I put this, Jay?
You can't.
Boy, all right. So it's one of those things where there's not too much you can say about it. He lied. He lied smoothly. I will say that it was very slick the way he lied. And then some people say, well, he never said he was vaccinated, which he didn't. But he did imply the manipulation was real. Yes. Should he get suspended? If you want, yes. if you're the league and you want to make a case, I say, yeah, you suspend him for 1 game, at least 1 game. I don't know if it's more than 1 game. No, you can't suspend him for 5 games. No, sir, because the league had to know the league had to know a little something. I don't care what they say. He's already mad at the league because they dropped his vaccination status, and technically that's if not
that's a violation of HIPAA law.
That's a violation of the HIPAA. So if anything, if you do suspend him, then you're going to have a problem. One, because he's going to fight it, and then two, if he tries to bring the rights in, he could sue the NFL, and that's something the NFL does not need on their hands right now. They don't need any more problems per se on their hands right now. So you don't want that.
I'm not going to disagree, but I mean, I find a little bit of humor in the fact that there's a lot of your fan cheeseheads that are going after his fiance, blaming her for it.
But see, that's the Green Bay fan base.
Grown-ass man.
That's the one thing I never understood. Look, the guy's 37 years old. Yes, he is a famous quarterback, and this goes with any famous person. How can you tell this person who they can be in love with, one, and then tell them they can't be in love with the person because it's football season? Because when Danica Patrick was his boo, I mean, you go on these fan pages, and every time he had a bad game, she must not be doing things right. She must be telling him this. I was like, this is crazy. Like, yeah, everybody has problems, but that can go for the receiver, that can go for the running back, that can go for anybody on the team, or
But it wasn't helping when you had his little brother saying, "I haven't talked to him
in a while." Yeah, and see, we
because of her.
I've been committed that Rodgers a little bit of a diva. Okay, a lot of bit of a diva, but that's who he is as a quarterback. He's a jerk. It's okay. Like Packers fans should know this. He's a jerk. He's never hid this. He's always been who he has been.
But agree. But see, today we get to see Jordan Love, and I read something on Jordan Love that really I didn't know, and I'm gonna say kudos to his mother. His mother has been to every game that he has not played in, but he's been drafted by the Packers. She's been to every game.
Well, today she get to see baby boy go.
I just respect for him because Mama's got his back.
Right.
I will always say that. We all have. I met your mom. You had a hell of a mom. You wouldn't be half the man you are right now if it wasn't for your mom back.
You ain't never lie about that. You ain't never lie about that. Well, my thing overall with this situation is, I think what ends up happening, I don't think they're going to suspend him. Him missing the game is already bad enough. He's probably potentially going to miss 2. And it's too critical.
Doesn't he have to have back-to-back 24
he has
hours?
They said that he could potentially play against Seattle next Sunday. But it's a stretch, because they got Saturday is when he could be clear to go back to activities. He doesn't need practice. He's Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be fine. These guys have been practicing all year together. They'll be fine. But the problem is, will it clear him in time? Not sure. But if I had to be, it all depends on how today goes. If Jordan Love goes out to today and does well, not saying win, but just does well and shows potential, they'll let Aaron probably give one more week and let him play that game against Seattle, then bring Aaron back. That's what I'm kind of, getting a feel of what I think could happen in this situation.
I think you need to put up what G just said, because I agree with G.
Let's see what G said. G said Tom Brady was suspended 4 games and fined $1 million for a Deflategate scandal. Rodgers manipulated and lied about his vaccination status during a crucial time when people are losing their lives to a virus. I can't disagree with that. I mean, dude, I just don't see them suspending them for 4 games. I don't know if the league is going to make that leap or not. Deflategate was bad. No, Deflategate was bad. We both know that.
But it's a very fine line on the way they handle this, because we'll know what type of. I guess if it was anybody else, they'd have cut him.
Right.
That's the thing.
But they're not cutting Aaron. You're not cutting Aaron Rodgers, though.
But
you're not cutting Aaron Rodgers.
But look,
yeah.
Bill Belichick supposedly cut his starting quarterback because he was unvaccinated.
I I think that was part of it, but I don't think it was all of it for me. I think he wanted to start Mac Jones.
But if I'm Cam Newton and you don't do a damn thing to Aaron Rodgers and he lied about being vaccinated,
I think they got to suspend him
after the damn league.
I think you got to suspend him at least. If you're going to suspend him, you got to suspend him 1 or 2 games tops. I think they'll suspend him 1 game because he's already going to be out for 1 because he's missing it for this, potentially 2. I think he gets suspended for 1, but they're definitely going to fine him. I don't think he's going to get 4 games. Deflategate was a whole different aspect. Well, and the only reason why, because I feel like, yes, it's dealing with people's lives.
What, second time that they got caught cheating though?
Doing something right. And I think they used what, the Goodell's hate and all that stuff for the Patriots low key. I think all of that kind of flustered and then eventually it came out. So it's not me because I'm a Packers fan. I want to see him on the field. Look, it is what it is. One way or the other, we but if I had to take a guess, I think if he does get suspended no more than 2 games, he'll definitely get a fine. Definitely get a fine.
He definitely needs the fine, but then I agree with G because it's just a whole. There's so many what ifs,
right?
That it's like giving a toddler a loaded gun with 1 shot in it. You don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
Be like Cole Beasley. Hey, I didn't want to get vaccinated. I'm not vaccinated, man. I'll do the test.
Truth from the beginning.
From
the beginning.
I guess my problem is the fact that, he's supposedly one of the, icons of the NFL and he fucking lies.
Well, I think the other part that's going to mess him up or is going to go back and look bad is he wasn't wearing masks in certain aspects because everybody thought that he was vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? Which kind of blows my mind because now it's kind of,
I love you, Danny.
Dang! No, bro, I don't think nobody deserves that punishment. Come on, Danny. No, Detroit. Woo!
That's great. I love you, Danny.
That is a tough punishment right there, Danny. What you asking for is a lot. Detroit fans might be happy for at least a game or 2. But that's a good one though. So what do we trade golf there, or we trade golf to Green Bay for a game or 2? Then he comes back. Oh my God, that's great.
Oh,
not gonna lie to you, that's a good one.
I actually talked to Matt last night about his status of his Lions, and we were checking because he come over and I watched that Team Up North game with him, and
that Team Up North game.
Well, then I started going through all the people that had transferred out of Michigan and where they were at, and how well they were doing at other places, and he just gave me a subtle "fuck you, Jay."
It's like, I'm not trying to hear anything you got to say. Nothing whatsoever.
So
the crazy situation. Let me ask you this: what's your prediction in the situation? What do you think? What do you think ends up happening?
Well, I think there, like you said, there's so many fine line things here because he could turn around and sue them. He could do this. If he's smart, he takes the 1 game suspension and then donates his game check to some organization or charity that deals with COVID-19,
right.
And, try to save a little face in it.
Right.
If he comes out as a pompous ass, he's done in Green Bay. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Like I said, today, I know a lot of people think this is crazy, but I think today is going to determine a lot. Because if Jordan Love goes out there today,
and balls out,
even next week, and shows, and then Rodgers didn't win the first game when he played against Dallas. I remember that game like it was yesterday. It was a Thursday night game. They were playing Dallas, and Brett Favre got hurt, and Aaron came in and played very respectable in the game, and people got to see the talent that everybody kept hearing about. Now, this is the same scenario to an extent. Right. Now that Rodgers is not in the way, Jordan Love's had the whole week with the first team. He's got Devontae back. He's got Lazard back. He's got the whole first team, minus obviously Aaron Rodgers. We're going to see today if Jordan Love can go out there and be wanted in the first round pick.
What's funny though is that when we started this season, you and I talked about wanting to see this game because it was a potential Super Bowl matchup.
Yep.
And now it's like we're wondering. the Chiefs have got to fix their defense. I know they went and got Melvin Ingram. I'm sorry, Melvin Ingram is not a fix to anything.
No, their defense is bad. There's no nice way to put it. Their defense is miserably bad, and I don't know if that's going to be enough. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. They're going to have to figure that thing out. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be very fun today. I thought it was a 1:00 game, but they moved it to 4, which I'm not upset with. So now I can kind of watch the first games and sit back and watch our future. I don't even want to jinx it because it's been pretty good to me. But
I got Jeremiah.
What did you do, Jay? Oh, you cursed. That's right, you did curse.
No.
Yeah.
But you said that name.
What name did I say?
I don't know, but you fucked.
Did I say Dak? I don't think I said Dak Prescott. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of.
Who did they play when Aaron Rodgers come in for Brett Favre?
The team with the star. The team with the star. Yeah, that's true.
Said,
but I mean, I mean, come on, man. Just said no, sir. No, sir.
You
on your own, sir.
I will pray with you and for you.
That's all I can ask for is prayers, and that's all I can ask for is prayers. And I appreciate you for that because Lord knows, I definitely can need them. So I'm afraid to even talk about it later on in the show. Real before we go on Rodgers situation, our man G said Previa Health even ended their partnership with Rodgers effective immediately, which is the biggest healthcare organization in the area. Yeah, I saw that, and at first I was like, "Oh man, that's a big deal," but in a way it is, and in a way it isn't. No one's heard of Previa. Somebody told me that nobody's heard of Previa until this happened. So it's like
you go back. It's almost like what happened with the Kirk Cousins thing up in Minnesota. When it comes to that. So he lost one sponsorship. He's still going to be making those stupid Allstate commercials.
Oh yeah. Then I mean, I don't think we're at the point in the Allstate game that they're going to cancel my man out of Allstate just yet. I think we might be still fine there.
He's got to be, like I said, as long as he handles it professionally instead of Aaron Rodgers, he'll be fine.
Oh man, I don't know, man. He was on that Pat McAfee show, and it was just like, oh boy.
Well, and look, Barstool's been under a lot of stuff because one of their founders has gotten in trouble with something that he's done to women in the past. So
crazy stuff. But yeah, did you hear? And we'll talk about that real quick before we move on. That was crazy stuff that they were saying my man was doing. I hear wilding. My man is out here wilding, bro. They got to fix that. They got to fix that. Oh my goodness. All right, everybody. So that was our top stories. Coming into the week, and we're gonna go over our NFL predictions for this wonderful Sunday of football. But before we do that, let's go at least give you a recap from Thursday night game. The Colts took on the Jets in that first game, and man, it was actually it was interesting early because Mike White came out there and was looking pretty good. Led a nice little drive, and then he hurt his wrist, and then the Colts went crazy.
Yeah, well, Mike White, his for last week's game jersey and ball is in Canton, Ohio now. He will be remembered forever for something.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good deal, man. I think it hurt. You could tell on the sideline he was so upset because he really, there's a chance for him to try to either snag that job or people start looking at him for a job next year. Especially, they beat Cincinnati, who was obviously a team that was the number one team in the AFC heading into last week. Then they a Colts team that is starting to warm up, starting to really look good, and they have a chance to make some leeway in that AFC South now that Derrick Henry's gone out of Tennessee, for the rest of the season. So it wasn't like it was a slouch game, and I can see this Jet team continuing to grow. They're not. They're really young, Jay. They're really young, but I like what I've seen from them the last couple of weeks. They're not quitting like I thought that they probably would this season.
The new head coach, I love what he's doing. They lost their best defensive player for the season, ruptured Achilles, Marcus May.
Right.
And so, that's a huge blow, but they're not going to be a pushover like we thought they would. Now, and I'm sorry, Victor. Sorry, Matt. But now everybody thought you play the Jets, it's a win right there. No, it's not that way anymore.
Yeah. It's
But-
a win. You're gonna have to watch out for him. I like they got a nice little running game. Ty Johnson has been a nice little spark plug for him. Michael Carter is starting to get his wings.
Which Michael Carter?
That's true too. The former North Carolina running back Michael Carter, he's starting to do some good things.
Best
and then
in the draft.
Right, and then the defensive line is not, yes, they've been getting beat up on, but that's because the offense at times has been rough. But the defensive line is young and growing. And Robert Salay's going to have, I'm telling you, if they just got to stick with Robert for a little bit, I think he's going to be a really good coach there. It's almost like Dan Campbell out there in Detroit, but Dan just can't catch a break. Dan can't catch a break right now.
Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss. Now you see why A.J. Brown was trying so hard for them to draft him, because even though he's 5'11", he is showing he's the number one wide receiver.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns in that game, and he's quick, he's fast, and you can see that development start to grow.
He's very similar in the way he runs his routes as a guy that I absolutely love, Terry McLaurin.
I was about to say, who in stature, he kind of, and please don't beat me up, but he's got, we'll see if it down the road, but he's got like a little Steve Smith in him. Now, I ain't saying he's like the, rugged, loudmouth, because that's Steve Smith, we'll be honest with you. But there's little hints of it there.
He was quiet his first year until he come up and said, hey, look what I can do.
Until he knew, I'm the man. I'm the man. But yeah, it definitely a good game. But the coach just tried to make a comeback late. It just wasn't enough. The Colts went up 45-30.
Josh Johnson sighting. I didn't know he was still in the league.
Yeah, Josh Johnson, man, hadn't played since we used to go cover when he was on the Washington football team. He hadn't played a game since then. He started a couple of games that year, and we haven't seen him since then. But he even looked good in that game. So if you're the Jets, you got to sit back and say, well, we got some pieces. We got to keep growing. We just got to keep pushing.
I mean, the Colts, on the other hand, they won. They put 45 up on the board, but their running game looked crisp and phenomenal.
Wasn't it nice? Oh yeah.
Jonathan Taylor, one cut and gone. See ya.
Yeah. Second in the league in rushing right now. And he'll probably, now that, obviously with Derrick Henry gone, Derrick Henry had a 300-yard lead, which is crazy. He had a 300-yard lead, which was crazy. But, Taylor will be the number one rusher here as long as he stays healthy over the next couple of weeks. So, but yeah, the Colts are starting to click. And it's
at the right time.
Yeah, at the right time. And we're seeing, knock on wood, decent play out of Carson Wentz. So we'll see what happens.
Except for we still go back 2 weeks ago to that fucking flip shit.
I don't know. They did it again in this game. They did it in this game, and but they got a touchdown off of it with Jack Doyle, but it wasn't as ugly as it was the other day.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, let's get into our week 9 predictions. Let's swing over here. First game, we're going to break down Browns and Bengals. Browns coming this one 4-4. Bengals are 5-3. The Bengals obviously losing to the Jets last week was not sexy.
But I think they needed it. It brought them back down to earth to let them know that they're not invincible. They're
still growing. They're another team that's kind of still growing. And I think once everybody heard, number one in the AFC, and then get punched in the mouth by the Jets, it's like, woo.
Very much. But again, we got the Odell stuff going on with the Browns. He's gone. Is Baker 100%? I know that they got Chubb back, but can they 100% on Chubb because Kareem Hunt's out? Right.
So they're the Browns are still like low key banged up. And they're still trying to figure out what they got going there. They did find another little gem in Ernest Johnson, who's come in and been very productive for them with Chubb being nicked up and Hunt. So it's been a nice, and
but
then
that defense still not playing the way that
they should be.
It should be. Yeah,
exactly. They should be. Yeah, they should be. And so that's why this is an interesting game today. Now, I went Bengals in this game. I wanted to go Browns, but I just couldn't.
I went with Bengals just because I love. Like everybody was giving Chase so much shit in preseason, and he's just been balling out, bro.
Been killing it. I mean, it's been absolutely ridiculous.
He's third in the league in receiving yards, and I think he's second in touchdowns.
He's having a Pro Bowl year.
Yeah, very much
Having a
so.
Pro Bowl year. Yep, most definitely. So we both going with the Bengals in this contest. Next one, the Denver Broncos travel to Arlington to take on the silver and blue team down there in the state of Texas. So this should be a good one.
Did you hear about what the silver and blue team is actually going to have a red stripe on their helmet?
I saw that for the first time since the 70s.
Yep.
It should be to honor the veterans. I like this move by the quote unquote America's team. So I'm excited to see.
Can't even do it. How do you make a star?
So what you're doing there. So this should be another one where Denver, who traded away Von Miller, that's something that I'm not so surprised that it happened, but the guy's been there 11 years. He's been a stalwart on that team. So he's a Ram now. And, low key Denver starting to rebuild some more.
It makes you wonder why, though, that a team like your team or my team that needed secondary help didn't go after Fuller or even something like that. And then did you see when we get to the Rams, we'll talk about that because I love the cup that Wes Snead kids got him.
Yeah, we had to talk about that when we get there. I'm going with
the Arlington team.
The Arlington lawmen.
No, let's call them the
Arlington lawmen.
The Arlington Desperados.
I like that. The Arlington Desperados. Me and Jay picked the Arlington Desperados to beat the Denver Broncos today in Arlington. Next one, the Dolphins and the Texans. Tyrod Taylor returns. This team is they're technically 1-1 with Tyrod being a starter. That was only because he got hurt while they were beating when they were beating the Browns. So in my eyes, they're 2-0. But that's another story for another day. But they get Tyrod Taylor back. Davis hasn't played miserably. I got to make sure we let people know that he hasn't been bad, but he's so young and he's still learning. I feel like if this Texans team had Tyrod, we'd be talking like they'd be in the mix right now. They'd be like 4-4, maybe even 3-5. They would have a little bit more wins, but
I'm going with the Dolphins just because I like the Flores better than I do the Texans coach. And then the Texans, they cut Vernon Hargreaves, who was by PFF their best cornerback.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
He's falling out. Let's get rid of him.
They traded a couple of pieces away that, they said a lot of teams was trying to get Brandon Cooks from them. They said, no, they want, this is something I never thought I would hear. They said they want to build around Brandon Cooks. I did hear that this week. I don't know if they
made wheelchair.
This is what they said. And then, hold on, wait real quick. Let's have a Perriman. So Perriman cannot stay on the team. He has now been released by the Lions and the Bears. And all I got to say about that is how bad things have to be when you get released by two teams that have no good receivers on their team. Oh, maybe the Bears have Robinson.
But didn't he come back like 1 year he was with us and reinvigorated his career?
Yeah, I think he was all right with the Jets at one point.
He left us and went to the Jets and got a.
That's what it was, yeah. And I think he signed with the Jets, so he's been bouncing around. So I don't know what's going on with Perriman, but he was nicked up. He's always hurt. So the Bears have released Perriman early this morning. I got the Texans in this one, and I feel I had picked them even without Tyrod being the starter, but I'm definitely happy that I picked them with Tyrod being back. I'm intrigued to see what the running game looks like. This week, obviously Ingram went back to the Saints, which is a great move by the Saints. One of the best moves they could have made was bringing Mark Ingram back down to the Saints. He's all-time leading rusher down there on that team. I don't know how long he's going to have it before Kamara takes it,
but I mean, damn, the Texans, even with that trade, still have 3 Pro Bowl running backs.
All right, we're talking about this game and this just popped up on my phone. Look at this. This is crazy. All right, so coming from Chef Dolphins back Tua Tagovailoa, I always say it wrong. Tua has a small fracture in his middle finger of his throwing hand and has not recovered enough to allow him to start today against the Texans. Per sources, Jacoby Brissett will now start for the Dolphins. That just popped up on the phone while we're talking about it. So now I feel even more better about this selection of the Texans today.
Well, see, now I'm iffy, but I can't change it. But
I can't change it. But you didn't know, though. You wouldn't have known that. You
but
wouldn't
see,
know that's coming.
Gaskins is going to have to give a huge game
Yeah.
to take some off Jacoby.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and Galecki. I mean, Brissett, even when he was with the Colts, he loved his tight ends. And, I mean,
That's true.
on the down low, the Dolphins have one of the best tight ends in the league.
Yeah, so I want to see. Well, today's gonna be an interesting day because now, with these two teams, before we move on, this is a potential. Well, if you're the Eagles, you're smiling because you get both of these picks.
I know, right?
This is like, hey, whoever loses, our pick goes higher. So, man, the Eagles are just embarrassed.
The Eagles want the season to end now because they got 3 top 10s.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, I know, right? And they got to start winning, man. I think right now they're ranked like 9th, and the other 2 picks are in the top 5. So. Congratulations, Eagles. Let's see what you can do with those on those draft picks when the time comes. Next matchup, Falcons heading to New Orleans to take on Trevor Siemian and the New Orleans Saints. I still went with the Saints in this game because the Falcons just make me mad. I'm still mad at the Falcons from last week.
I was very impressed with the fact that when in the draft they drafted Ian Book. He was very much prototypical Drew Brees clone. And why are we not seeing him out on the field? I know Hill's hurt. Winston's done for the season. Why we're giving the Siemian? I mean,
I don't know, man. Siemian didn't look too bad against you guys last week. He didn't look too bad. He wasn't great. He held on to it. Let's see what he does against Atlanta this week. I think they felt confident enough. Well, we can start him this week and see what happens.
Right.
I think Taysom Hill is this close to coming back. And I think I think Taysom probably, if not, will probably start after this. He is the number 2 guy on the depth chart. So
I'm still not sold on Taysom Hill as being a starting quarterback.
Me neither. That's why they tried to go get Teddy. That's why they tried to go get Teddy last week before. If they'd have picked Teddy Bridgewater back up, I'm gonna tell you right now, I would have way more faith in this New Orleans Saints team, especially making push towards the playoffs.
Well, I'm still gonna pick the Saints against the Falcons because the Falcons don't have. Yes, Pitts is finally coming on, and but Ridley is out taking care of his mental health, which kudos to him for knowing what he's got to do. I'm not going to give anybody shit about taking care of your mental health. That's number one. So
guys like Gage usually step up. Cordell Patterson continues to have a really great year. Amazing year for Cordell Patterson. Nice revival. He finally finds a team that just know they use him kind of like everything. Catch the ball, running back. He's a little bit of everything on that offense right now. And no one before the season started would have said who's going to be the spark plug on that team. Everybody would have said Kyle Pitts. No one would have said Cordell Patterson. At age 30, starting to have a revival in his career. So kudos to Cordell Patterson. I love seeing that from him.
Yes.
And then next one we've got Jaguars and Bills, and boy. This is not even hard to choose unless something bad happens on the end where
I'm going Bills.
I'm going Bills. Yeah. Trubisky is out today due to COVID, but that's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. I could go in there and throw passes for the Bills right now. We're going to win that game.
I really think Josh Allen throws for 400 plus and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, man, it might get ugly today. It might get ugly today. So Jacksonville, sorry, but we're both going with Buffalo in this one. Next one, Raiders and Giants from MetLife out there in old New Jersey. I'm going with the Raiders today.
Raiders.
They've been playing really well.
They have.
They have. I mean, they've been overcoming a lot of stuff.
Max Crosby will have 3.5 sacks on Daniel Jones.
3.5 sacks. I don't know if I have any predictions other than I think that we see Brian Edwards really fall out. Like I really think this is the time that he takes that next leap. I know if G's watching, I know it can't be good comments in there. Real quick, Danny says, go Falcons. He said Falcons will win. Lock it in. And Danny, I want to pick them, but they've done me bad. The last 2 times I picked them, they treated me like a stepchild. So
I agree with Darrell because every time I pick them,
Yes. So maybe us not picking them will be a dub for you, Danny. And if that's okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I hate the damn Saints, and I wish everybody kicked their ass. So,
regular season Saints, man. Buccaneers kryptonite is ridiculous. As long as they don't do it in the post, as long as the post, that's all right, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, we just decided we can play against them in the postseason.
Right. No biggie. Next one, we've got the Patriots and the Patriots and the I was at Panthers. Yeah, Patriots and the Panthers from Carolina. This could be an interesting one because we're gonna see Christian McCaffrey make his return. And so he's been banged up for the last couple of years. And, I know they're probably going to be very cautious with him because they want to make sure that hammy is 100%. But, Chuba Hubbard has been phenomenal for them. So they shouldn't have to be there.
But, on this one, I actually think I went with the Patriots, though, because Mac Jones and Harrison, they're really finding their stride in that offense, and defense is starting to play for them. So
yeah. I like what I've seen from Mac Jones, man. Low key, Mac Jones has been the best rookie quarterback in this class, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, he hasn't made a lot of mistakes. He's been very consistent, and they've been in a lot of the games, even the games that they've lost. They've been in it, like that Arlington Desperados game. They should have beat them. They should have beat them. They had Arlington on the ropes and at home, and they couldn't pull it off.
Yep.
They've been in the mix in some games, man, and I like what I see from them. They're growing. They got a nice little young receiving core. They're not great, but they're decent. Myers is a guy that I think is going to really blossom.
Well, Myers, we talked about him 3 years ago because he was doing so well in the preseason, and now he's finally getting his chance to step up.
Yeah, and I'm happy for him, man. I mean, that's a big deal for him. He's getting that opportunity to grow. But I went with the Patriots because I like what I'm seeing right now. I like what I'm seeing right now from Mac Jones and the crew. But we did have one person that said, "No go, buddy. This is where he's going." There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Tyrone Montgomery Jr.
You're such an asshole. You couldn't even put that hat on his head square, bro.
It's just sliding, bro. That hat is just sliding. As Ty Lone Ranger, this pick, he's the only person that went with the Panthers today.
You're such an ass. I mean, really
I'm sorry, man. Well, I try to make it a little bit fun. Look how he's looking, though.
He looks like he's Tonto's horse holder.
Oh God, not the horse holder. Oh my God! But Ty went with the Panthers today in our pick'em. So he is the Lone Ranger on
this.
This
is why Jay will never pick a Lone Ranger ever.
One day it's gonna happen. One day I can't wait to put the bucket on your head, brother. It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire. Jay's the only one in the group, the only one out of everybody. We've had 12 people do this total. And Jay's the only one that has not have a Lone Ranger pick yet. That's why he's in first place. Because he has a Lone Ranger pick.
Knock on wood. I mean, I've got competition. Lamont's one game behind.
Lamont is pushing. Now, everybody else is fighting for third. Like, it's just like me, Cody. I'm cool with that at this point. I just don't want to be last. Sorry, Victor. I just try not to be last. That's where I'm at right now. Next matchup, we got the Vikings and the Ravens.
This is an interesting one.
Yes, this is an interesting one.
Because the Vikings, their defense is actually playing decent for once. And so, but I picked the Ravens just because every time I pick against Lamar Jackson, he runs for 500 yards and throws for 500.
Crazy stuff, right? Crazy stuff, right? I mean, I went with the Ravens on this one because the Vikings are just so doggone unpredictable. Like, there's no, you don't know what Vikings team you're going to get from week to week.
Right.
That's the nicest thing that I can say about that. You really don't know what you're going to get from that Vikings team from week to week. It could be anything. It could absolutely be anything. They could go out there and ball out this weekend. We wouldn't be surprised.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what they do. So in that one, we both go with the Ravens. Next one, Chargers and Eagles from Philadelphia. Low key, Jay, this was a really tough one to pick.
Yes, because last week the Eagles learned how to play football.
Yeah, and it was against Detroit, but they played a complete game. Yeah. And somebody mentioned this, and I can't remember what analyst mentioned it, but it makes a lot. It really hit home. When Jalen Hurts has time in the pocket to throw, and he can sit in the pocket and take his time, he is dissecting defenses when he has time to sit, even with not maybe like the biggest name receiving core, and you know, with Goddard, you know, he's been really nice when he's had time. So that's why this was a tough one for me to pick. I went with the Chargers. The Chargers disappointed me against the Patriots last week, but I really wanted to pick the Eagles. It was close, Jay. It was close.
It was close for me too, but the fact that the Chargers have been more consistent than the Eagles have, and Austin Eckler is playing, I went with the Chargers. I mean,
yeah, it was a really tough one for me to go with. It really was. But yes, I went with the Chargers in this one. Next one, we've got the Packers and the Chiefs. In Jordan Love, I trust. Choice today. Yeah, the Packers take on the Chiefs today. This one, heading into this one, I definitely for sure had the Packers winning this one, because I said to myself, well, look at how well the Kansas City defense has been. Not so well. It's been miserable.
But see,
I really thought they had a chance.
Then you flip it though. You flip it, and the Packers, besides Campbell, your defense has sucked ass.
Yeah, Campbell's been really nice addition. I won't say that completely though, because Dean Lowry's had a really good year on the line. He's had a really good year on the line. Our secondary's been here and there. We don't have Alexander. Oh, Rasul Douglas has had a really good year. You know, since we signed him. So it's been like hit and miss with this defense. So today, going against a Patrick Mahomes who, you know, barely won against the Giants last week, knows he's got an opportunity to make a statement against a Green Bay Packers team that is technically right now the number one team in the NFC. This is a chance. This is a chance for them to make a statement, even without Aaron Rodgers being there.
I'm going with the Chiefs. You are actually the only person that picked the Packers. So let's see, bro.
This is true. And look, man, and it's crazy because I had picked Green Bay before. Well, we heard the news before, but I just left it. I said, you know what? No. But I thought someone else would pick Green Bay. But obviously nobody else in the network has faith in Jordan Love. not a soul.
It's not Jordan Love that I don't have faith in. I when I really looked at this, I looked at whose defense had the most holes in it. And I mean, really, once you get past the front four, it's you guys. Honestly. Yeah. I mean, if you didn't have injuries and stuff going on, I definitely would pick you guys. But I don't think either one of the Smith brothers are playing. And so you got to, you know, we're waiting for Gary to pop up. And, you know, like I said, Campbell's been great. But your secondary sucks ass, man. It looks like ours.
I don't want to say it sucks completely. It's been a lot of bend don't break, because like in that Cardinals game, it was looking bad. And then we got lucky because AJ Green thought he heard his mom say, "Hey, what's up?" Or somebody called him. Hey, what you need? Somebody called him. Hey, what's up, bro? Like, huh? And he said that, you know, and then that happened. So
that's so
somebody called him. If you watch the play, he looked it's like, "Oh, what's up?" Like, is it whoever called him? Like you said, Jay, could have been a little flash. I don't know what it was, but Rasul Douglas was there to say, whoop.
I got it, guys.
I'll take it. Yeah, it wasn't looking positive, but I think Green Bay wins today if they can use that strategy. To be honest with you, they got to kind of use the strategy they use against the Cardinals to slow down or keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, but also find a way to give Jordan Love confidence throwing the football and keeping, you know, and not doing it and not having any turnovers.
But see, I want to see my concern is who are you all going to put on Hill? Because if Hill gets hot, you're all screwed.
Look,
I mean, I'm being honest.
I look. Hey, I'm right there with you. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm just hoping for the best today.
And don't forget about 87.
Yeah, and see, this is what I'm worried about before we move on. He hasn't had a great year. This would be the game. He would start to be like, all right, I'm ready to play football now. No. Put your hands down, sir. That is not nice. Next one, we got the Cardinals and the 49ers coming from Santa Clara. This was another tough game to call because we know how this rivalry has been the last 5-6 years. These games have always been close.
Been fun. Yeah.
The game they played. Didn't they play earlier this year already? They've already played once.
Yep.
And in that game, it was like a 3-point game, like a 7-point game when Trey Lance was quarterback. And so it's for me, it's like it's gonna be another tough one. And the odd makers actually have the 49ers winning the game because from what I heard earlier, no Kyler Murray and no DeAndre Hopkins in this contest because they're both traveling with the team, but they're both questionable. But the word is they won't play.
The Cardinals won 17-10.
They won 17-10, and I did pick the Cardinals. I don't even know who is the Cardinals' backup quarterback.
Me.
Oh, well, you might want to go ahead and you might want to get on, hit the plane, brother. You're gonna be late to the game. You might still make it in time.
Let me look because that's actually an interesting question.
Yes, I want to know who their backup quarterback is, because the word on the street there will not be a we will not see
no Kyler Murray. So let's see what we got here. AJ Green's on COVID, so we won't have to worry about him not looking. Holy shit, Colt McCoy.
Oh man, I wish I'd have picked the 49ers. Jesus Christ.
But Colt McCoy did look good when we saw him with the Washington.
Yeah, I mean, Colt has his moments.
But he's also got a plethora of weapons now.
This is also true. I don't think he's had this much. Even minus DeAndre Hopkins, they still have a lot of weapons on that team. And a two running back, two-headed monster running back with Edmonds and Connor. So they'll be fine. They should be fine. I feel good with the pick.
The last time Colt McCoy had this many weapons, he was at Texas.
And that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. Next matchup, Titans and Rams.
Now we get to talk about that. Les Snead thinks of draft picks as nothing because they don't have it. They traded their second and third round pick this coming year for Von Miller's services, like a 1-year rental. But what does that do for this? This defense just got really nasty.
They have to win the Super Bowl this year, Jay. With all the moves they made in the last couple of years, mortgaging their future, they have to win it.
Yeah, because
you got to get something out of this, Jay. They've been to the Super Bowl during this time frame,
right? Now, but see,
they've got to win it.
Look at this though. If say that comes to fruition, the Rams win. That means the Lions would pick first, 32nd, and 33rd.
Dang, the Lions got all the picks. They're gonna need them. Dan Campbell, if they let him stay, is gonna need more people.
My concern, they got rid of Deshaun for a reason. Deshaun looked great when they played against us. He looked vintage Deshaun. Cooper Kupp's leading the league in receiving right now, and that we're not surprised by that. But
no, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. So in this one, I got the Rams in this one. The Titans. My thing is we got to see. I want to see what they look like without Derrick Henry before I start picking them at all.
Right.
So until we see that, that's where I stand on that one.
Well, because when they started the season, they weren't the Titans we expected, and finally we started seeing them.
Right.
Derrick Henry throws a touchdown pass. Oh yes, he's going to be the MVP and done.
Right. Soon as he threw a touchdown pass, said no, we can't have none of that.
What the backup is Nicholson.
Yeah, Nicholson, and then they brought in AP. And I saw a post somebody put AP and Julio Jones in 2012 would have been nasty, but this is 2021, so we're gonna see. Man, AP will be good in good short yardage situation from them, and plus AP is still trying to creep up on that touchdown list. He was there when we were covering Washington games at the games. They were really pushing that, and he was trying to get, he was still breaking records, and he did the same thing in Detroit last year. So we'll see what he does as a Titan.
Everybody except Lamont.
Yes. That's true. I'm gonna wait till the next one to show it because he's also the only one in the next one as well. Next matchup, we have the Bears and the Steelers. Monday Night Football. I picked the Steelers in this one. The
And,
Bears,
well,
the Bears, I don't know.
the Bears, Justin Fields is the answer. I believe that 100%.
I
But
agree too.
no Khalil Mack for that defense is huge. And then that defense looks so lost. 3 years ago, that defense was one of the best defenses in the league.
Yes, and they still have a lot of those pieces on there. And I just feel like whoever is coaching that defense or whatever's going on with the defense, the philosophy that they had a couple years ago is completely gone out of the
Because
window.
Eddie Jackson was the safety everybody wanted, and now Eddie Jackson couldn't catch a cold.
Eddie,
I hate to be that way.
Raquan Smith. They've got some really good pieces. Danny Trevathan, they got good pieces on that team. You would think that they would be in a better spot defensively, but it has not been the case. Has not been the case. And of course, we promised you a Lone Ranger picture. Here we go. Our man Lamont rocking out the bucket hat with the Lone Ranger pick in this one. Lamont went with the Titans.
If you
and
look,
the Bears.
Lamont and I, this will be the week that will separate him and I, because last week we picked identical. The week before that, we were pretty close to identical. This week, we actually, I think, have 4 or 5 different picks.
So this could be a crazy week. Like, it could fluctuate big time.
Yes.
For the both of y'all this week.
Very much so, yes.
So we're going to see some interesting things happen with that number 1, number 2 spot in the pick'em this week.
I was at Martinsville with the wife because she was covering, and I couldn't get cell phone service there. So I couldn't even check the games, even hook up to the Wi-Fi. It was presented by Xfinity, and I couldn't get shit.
Xfinity wasn't playing games out there.
No. They're like, we're going to lock you down. So I told the wife on the way, I was like, yeah, I did terrible. And then it didn't.
Oh my God. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. When the day started, I felt really confident. And then as the games went along, I said, why are these games falling the way they're falling? It was just bad. It was bad. I'm just glad that it wasn't as bad. I think poor Victor went like 5-10. Somebody else went, so I think 2 people went 5-10.
I went the other way.
And you went the other way. I'll take my 7-8 because it could have been worse. It could have been worse. The way it was looking, it could have been way worse. And so, I'll just take it and just try to push into 3rd place, man, and do the best I can from there.
Actually, Victor was the only one that was 5-10. Everybody else was 7-8, except Joe was 8-7.
Oh, Joe was 8-7. Okay.
Yep.
It was a rough week. It was a rough week. And so before we move on to cash and trash, this is what it looks like coming into the week. These are all our picks heading into the week. I'm excited. Another week of football. Look at those records down there. Cody's at 79 and 43. And then we've got like a 4-way tie for 4th place. Myself, we got myself, Joe, Russ, a 3-way tie for 4th place. Then, you got, James is not too far out of the mix. And then, of course, you got Victor at 74 and 48. But it's still, Jay's got a pretty decent lead right now from first to last. So he's in a good spot right now. But it's going to be him and Lamont right now battling it out.
Don't jinx it, damn it.
Well, I just say y'all are battling it out. That's all I said. We'll see.
You said too much.
All right, everybody. All right, you know what time it is. Let's go ahead and swing to it.
And now it's time for Cash or Trash.
I don't even blame him. All right, y'all. We got 4 cash or trash topics before we roll out of here and get ready for another great Sunday of football. So let's start off actually talking a little basketball. Cash or trash, is it time for Dame Lillard to leave Portland? There's been a lot of craziness. He's been struggling this year. It's been a really rough year for Dame Lillard. It's been really bad, Jay. It's been really bad.
Well, I'm a Cavs fan. Whatever. And I watched that Portland game that we played, and Portland made us look like we were a great fucking team.
Well, I got to give Cleveland a little love though. Like, their young Mobley, those guys have been playing pretty well. Like, they may not have been winning to a certain extent, but they've been playing really
there
well.
was a guy LA said that was on our team during the summer leagues. It was Taco, the guy that plays for the Celtics now, the giant.
Yeah.
He's like 7'4", some shit like that.
Some dumb number.
But I really like what Cleveland has done. We just need to stay consistent and do what we.
Yeah, and LeBron said himself, Mobley's gonna be special. Y'all got yourselves a really good pick with Mobley. So
I'm so excited about that.
7 foot, can move. I mean, he moves around like a gazelle. He's like a very tall Chris Bosh.
But who right now? I think the punny, call me punny, but the team that's on fire is the Heat.
Big win last night against the Jazz. I like what I see. I'm not going to get too confident, but I do like what I see.
Hey, Lowry,
and I get Kyle Lowry, and you know how I feel about Kyle Lowry. You know my opinions on Kyle Lowry. So
he was pissed, bro.
Yeah, but he triple double last night, 20, 12, and 11.
And that slick pass that he had for the layup under the board.
Beautiful.
Oh God, gorgeous.
We're gonna wait. I refuse to get too excited, but I like what I see so far. Next one. And I'm cashing. We didn't even trash. I am cashing that it's time for him to leave. And I think the answer is Philadelphia.
Oh shit. And send Ben Simmons up there so he can
send him up there somewhere. Just send him out there. He just needs to go.
Send him to the rainiest place on the planet so he can get more depressed.
All right, cash and trash. Next one. Number 1, Georgia goes undefeated this season. Cash or trash?
Trash. Well, right now they have a controversy because their best linebacker has been accused of rape, and that's bad.
That's bad. Drugs are bad.
Well, no, just the way I read the statement the young lady made, and I mean, Ben, you should never put yourself in a situation like this ever. I mean, if you did it, you should have the Becca treatment done to you and left, because it's just ridiculous. And make sure it's the dullest fucking scissors on the planet. And so, I mean, it's a big blow for their defense. And this is the only time you'll ever hear me say this because I'm an analyst, not a fan right now. When they play Alabama, because we all know it's coming down because LSU almost, got to Alabama because their offensive line in Alabama sucks.
That's crazy coming from Alabama because all they do is pump out pro offensive linemen all the time. These big 6'8", 345-pound dudes, they just be out here just monstering in the league. So,
I mean, shit, I think LSU had like 4 or 5 sacks last night on Bryce Young, and he was just running for his life. It did not look good. But Nick Saban always seems to find a way to win when winning needs to be done. And I think Nick Saban's going to pull it off in the championship game.
I'm going to agree with you and trash this one because I just got a feeling it's going to happen at some point. If it is in Ohio State in the national championship, if it's not somebody in that range, it's somebody is going to catch him. Because if some I just got tonight certain teams, and Georgia hasn't had the greatest success. So I'm going to go trash it.
I've seen this is the most level playing field I've seen in a long time in college football.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Anybody can get it.
Let's just hope that they treat Cincinnati right this week in the poll rankings. But we'll see. How you be the number? I got to throw this in there. How you be the number 2 team in the nation and be ranked outside of the top 5? That's it. I understand the other teams are good, but you to be ranked the number 2 team in the nation and be ranked outside of it, and not even like 5, 6.
But this is the thing. A lot of that goes to strength of schedule,
right?
Because if you look at what Purdue's done, they have beat 2 undefeated teams, and they're like 5-3 or 3-5 or some shit.
That's true.
They last night they beat the unbeatable Michigan State Spartans, and second week of the year they beat Iowa.
Right. Right. So I agree with it, but still, if you don't feel like they shouldn't be ranked number 2.
I
If
agree.
in my opinion, if you put them at 6, put them at 6. If they're
They're
number 2
getting the
in the
same
polls,
treatment, and I know Rob, he's our professional, he knows everything. But last year, Liberty was balling out, and you know what? They didn't make a thing. They've lost 1 game last year, I believe.
right. But when
And
you're one of those mid-major teams, you have to win them all
yep,
and hope that they're nice enough to say, all right, we're gonna let you play. And that's all you can hope. Because we haven't seen one of those smaller schools in the BCS. It hasn't happened yet. We have UCF, who's crowned themselves national champions a couple years ago, and they went undefeated, and I don't blame them for it. I probably would have done the same thing if I was.
But you know what's going to happen is the one time that they let one of those teams in, they're going to end up playing Alabama.
And it's gonna be ugly.
It's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be ugly, right? That's the only. But it has to happen. I think though. I think it almost has to happen just to prove.
Just to get them
to prove the committee's point. Now, if Cincinnati goes in there and wins that game, then it proves the other point. It has to happen at some point. It's got to happen at some point.
I agree 1,000% with you. But, I want to see, because like Luke Fickell, I remember the 1 year he was our coach. We went 7-9 that year.
Right.
He didn't impress me, but he's doing something right with Cincinnati.
Yeah, and much love to him. So the Cincinnati team, and they got a young Heisman and QB. We'll see.
And Riddler.
Yeah, and Riddler. So
the Riddler.
The Riddler.
And
next
one,
one,
the Spencer Rattler thing, I think that kid's a punk, and he's gonna be a bust no matter what he does.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Rattler situation going on there in Oklahoma. I don't think he's going to be as big as people think or make him out to be. Next one, cash or trash. Odell Beckham will turn his career.
Trash. He had his chance when he went with Cleveland. I'm going to go back. Go ahead, ladies first.
No. Go ahead.
His career took a dip dive when we had the yacht party.
That's the real true statement. His career has not been the same since that game against Green Bay. I'm gonna God.
You would have thought that Leonardo DiCaprio had the worst day on a boat, but
that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one, Jay. Hey, Jay. I want to trash it. But I'm gonna get cash it because it really does depend on which team he goes to. And Baker, I don't care what anybody says, you can tell him and Baker just never had chemistry. It just never came into fruition. There would be games where when he was healthy and they kept the ball away from him. Landry, Higgins, anybody else, So that to me just gives me this vibe that there's something amiss. And it always has been. So and hopefully, if I'm a cash, I got a little faith that he goes to the right place. If he doesn't get picked up by Detroit, so because it could happen, man. Detroit ain't got no receivers, bro. They might be like, look, go get Odell, man.
I would love to see him do it because you never want to see people do bad. Right. But you go back to that 2014 draft class and look at the names that are there. Yeah. You got your favorite wide receiver. My favorite wide receiver were in that class.
Yep.
Sammy Watkins, what could have never was.
Right.
It's just amazing. He was, and he's only 29. He's not that old yet.
Right. He really isn't. And that's what I'm saying. He just turned 29 day before yesterday.
And so he played maybe 12 games in 3 years for the Browns. I mean, Jesus, man.
He hasn't played. And then LA was on with us one day and we talked a little bit about this. I think it might have been on Legacy on Fire. And he brought up the fact, he did have a decent beginning of last season before he got hurt, but it wasn't spectacular. So, right. I mean, but they just never been able to click, man. And you could tell there was something amiss there.
Where do you think, just give me one team you think would be a good home for him?
I still say the Rams. I've been saying the Rams, even though they're loaded, I feel like they will continue to get loaded. If they can find a way to make it happen and he takes less money, I say the Rams. If he makes it past the waiver, because the Rams will help his brand, because we know Odell's a brand, man. Like Odell, you think Odell, everybody still thinks he's a phenomenal receiver. Like, if most people say Odell Beckham, he's one of the top receivers in the league.
They remember this.
They remember this, right? And and in LA, I think he could. I think it's a power thing. Like, go there. LeBron's already vouched for him to go out and leave and let him be free. And I feel like LA would be the spot, only because I think it's a brand thing. Plus, it was not a ton of pressure to be great. Got Van Jefferson playing well. So
see, I see LA, but not the Rams. I see the Chargers.
I can see that move as well. But my heart tells me I want to say Rams in my opinion, but I think Raiders, Saints, Ravens will be three teams you look at and say, all right, who can take the L for one season and go from there.
I don't want to see his ass with the Saints. I'm sorry.
They said the Saints tried to trade for him right before the trade deadline, but it didn't work out. And now the Browns left it. Stupid move. So
it's
dumb.
Crazy.
Why would you not trade him? Anyway, last one, cash or trash. Anybody but Larson wins the championship today. Cash or trash?
You gotta try. It's Kyle Larson's to lose. As long as he finishes the damn race, I think he wins it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, God, it's crazy. Because looking at it,
last year we were talking about him doing sensitivity training, and then he comes back and he makes NASCAR his bitch.
Man, if he doesn't win it, it'll be crazy. If he doesn't win it, I'll say Hamlin win it. Only because he's
hack ain't winning nothing.
That hack ain't winning nothing. He ain't winning nothing. So and I want to make sure that I get it correct because I was just looking at it a little while ago.
It's Hamlin, Larson, Truex Jr. or
Elliott. Yeah.
Elliott,
So that's what we're looking like in the championship today. But
Elliott,
yeah, I got Larson
last year. So I mean, I think Larson's to lose, hands down.
Yeah, if Larson ends up losing, it's going to be because of him.
Yes,
he will be his own worst enemy in this one.
I don't like Kyle Larson, but I like Denny Hamlin less.
That's a good one. I like that.
Would figure this out because my favorite driver is owns
the team. Yeah, yes, yeah. This is true. This is true.
I love Bubba Wallace. I don't care what anybody says.
I like Darrell too, man. Darrell's a good guy.
Because
our names are spelled the same. I mean,
But I ain't gonna call you Bubba unless
you shouldn't call it. I look like I could be a Bubba. Everybody calls me Debo. Like when I was working at Walmart, everybody called me Debo. I don't know why. Jeff started that.
I was gonna say the first time I met you, you didn't make me give you my watch and shit.
Give me your chain. Give me your chain.
Right.
All right, everybody. That is it. Episode 284 in the books here on the Legacy Maker Sports Podcast. It's been a pleasure to be with y'all today. And I like the Sunday ones, man, because right before the games, man, this is a good deal. So, we're going to try to, keep rocking and rolling with this as we go throughout. If we don't come this week, maybe we'll hit y'all up again next Sunday. But we will be back this week for 285. I just don't know what day yet, and I'm not even going to sit there and lie to you. But we will be back this week for 285. Me and Jay we got a busy schedule this week, Jay.
A little bit.
Yeah, we got a busy schedule this week. So,
but everybody, make sure you tell your people you love them every day because you never know when it'll be the last day. And be safe and God bless.
Amen to that. All right, everybody, y'all take care of yourselves. Until next time, I'm Darrell Owens, Jeremiah Quimby. Peace.
God bless.